This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined by trainer Robert Garcia here in Las Vegas. Robert, it's always a pleasure to catch up. How are you?
Thanks for having me.
How are things going? How's everybody looking?
Things are going great. Stay in the gym. We got two of my fighters on the pay-per-view card, and we have starting January we have a lot of fights coming up. So we're pretty busy.
Are you looking towards a quiet end to the year then, or?
Well, it looks like we might not be. It might not be too quiet because we got fights early in January, so we might be having to train through the holidays. So we'll have a good, nice Christmas with the family, but the rest of the time is going to be working.
I was going to say, Robert, do you diet through Christmas with your fighters? Are you hardcore to that point, or?
You know what? I've been in this many times. Even when I was fighting, there was a few times when I fight in January. So we have to go through the holidays. Eating the healthy food. With Mikey. Mikey has fought in January plenty of times. So. It's nothing. It's actually something that the family, everybody's already used to. Maybe instead of eating tamales or the pozole that Mexicans are used to eat, we'll have fish and shrimp and something light.
I was going to ask, obviously, I'm not a fighter, so I can't speak from any form of experience, but especially going back to your days, fighting through festive holidays or through maybe your birthday, when you're in the middle of camp, how difficult is it to not maybe go and have a bit of a slice of birthday cake or to enjoy a Christmas turkey? I say turkey, British, but I know you've just mentioned a variety of different Mexican dishes. How difficult is it not to kind of let yourself go around certain festivities or occasions?
Look, it's very difficult, especially when you have the Mexican tradition who like to celebrate, like to spend all night drinking and dancing and singing and eating all that great food. But you just have to know that that's part of your job, and your loved ones around you, your wife, your parents, your sisters, your brothers, the kids, they all have to know the same, and that's part of our life. Since I was fighting to now with all my fighters, my family, my kids, parents, sisters, we all know, everybody knows that that's just the way our celebrations are. We cannot book vacations because we don't know. I can't say right now I want to go on vacation in May because I might be busy in May. If we ever get a little vacation, a 3-4 day vacation, is from one day to another. Look, I don't have fights in the next weekend. Let's go to Mexico. Let's go. That's just the way the boxing world is. When you're in boxing with so many fighters, you can't take those type of vacations. But we love it. We got the support from the family, the wife, the kids. Everybody knows that's our life. So everybody accepts it.
Robert, I think I've learned that the hard way this year, because whenever I've booked off time from work, it ends up seen as another big fight that you've got to go and cover. But like you said, you can't complain. It's the job, and it's brilliant sport to be a part of. So let's circle back to Saturday night. As you mentioned, two of your guys on the card. Start off with Muratalla. What are you expecting to see from him on Saturday night?
Look, I think Raymond Muratalla is still has not been seen by the world. But I think this is going to be a great opportunity for him to show his talent. I think that kid is one of the most talented kids in my gym, and I have a lot of talent, but he's one of the most talented fighters in my gym. He's dedicated. He does his work, and you guys will see on pay-per-view this Saturday. The kid is, he's got everything. He's got good defense, good footwork, very good power. His skills are unbelievable. I can't wait, for Saturday so he could show his talent. And then we have Esquiva Falcao, who's fighting on a title eliminator against a tough Canadian. So the fight is going to be tough, but Esquiva is in great shape. We had great sparring in the gym. He sparred up to 15, 16 rounds at times. He's in great shape, but we know the fight is tough too. The fight is very tough. So, he knows the importance. He wins, he's mandatory to fight Triple G or the winner of Triple G and Murata. So hopefully we get that fight. If we win, hopefully we get the winner.
A lot of people mention Triple G at the minute with regards to the current champions or people in the middleweight division, and we're questioning, is he just starting to show signs that he is slowing down as he is getting older? Do you see him slowing down now when you watch him?
Definitely. I've seen that. I've seen that in his last fight, and he already showed that he's aging. I think he wants that third fight with Canelo. So smart thing for him to do if he wins against Murata. I don't think he wants to fight somebody young that's gonna maybe beat him with no name. Somebody that nobody really cares about. I think for him, he might vacate the title and move up to 168 to fight Canelo, because that's the smartest move for him. And I'm not his manager or his promoter, but that would be the smartest thing to do. Wait for Canelo for September and get the biggest payday out there, because he is already aging and he's slowing down and he's not as talented as he was a few years back. So the smart thing for him to do is that. In our case, if we win, then we fight for the vacant title, which is not bad. Also, I think that would, if I was in his position, that's probably what I would advise him to do.
Just listening to you talk there, Robert, going back to this past weekend, Jaime Munguia's fight with Gabe Rosado, after the fight, people are speaking to, after getting post-fight interviews, they was mentioning potentially Munguia-Golovkin, but we saw how easily kind of Munguia was getting caught by Rosado. Do you still see that as a very risky fight for Munguia? Because if he was getting caught the way that Rosado was by Golovkin, if he was getting caught by Golovkin the way that he was against Rosado, is that some kind of chin that Munguia would have to show?
You know what? I think Munguia looked better than ever. I think he looked really good. He had really good combinations, and he's getting better and better. I think him against Golovkin is a very dangerous fight, but I think it's dangerous for both of them because, Golovkin hits very hard, and yes, he lands, he's going to hurt him and maybe knock him out. But also, we know Munguia is hungry. He's young, hungry to become a superstar. So it could be as dangerous for Golovkin also, and I think it wouldn't be as big as losing to Canelo. So me personally, I think Golovkin waits for after the Murata fight, which is still very dangerous. After the Murata fight, I think he just waits for Canelo to get that huge payday and retire. But he's very dangerous. He could still hurt anybody. But it's also very risky for him. Munguia would probably give him very, very difficult times. I can't really pick a winner because both are gonna land. Both are gonna see who takes a better punch.
I mean, Robert, we've definitely gone off topic about 5 times so far. Not that I'm complaining. It's great to catch up and talk boxing with you. But once again, to come back to the main event on Saturday night, Terence Crawford, Shawn Porter. What is your take? What are your thoughts?
It's going to be a great fight. I'm glad that something like this is happening, even though, it's hard to get Top Rank versus PBC or Golden Boy Matchroom. It's difficult to match them. I'm glad Shawn Porter was willing to take this chance because he wants to be world champion, and I know he's going to give the best fight out there that he can. I still pick Crawford to win by decision. Some people think he might even stop him, but I think by decision because I know Porter's very, very tough and he has no giving up in him. He's gonna do whatever it takes to win. So that's what's gonna make a great fight. I pick Crawford by decision, but it's gonna be a great fight, and I'm glad this fight is happening. That's gonna show the rest of the welterweights. It's going to give them an example like, look, I did it. Why can't you guys do it? Why can't Eros Pence? Why can't Ugas come and fight Crawford? Or why can't Crawford go and fight them at PBC? Why can't any of them go and fight Boots Ennis on Showtime? Why can't any of them go fight Virgil Ortiz on the Zone? They have to. We want the welterweight division, besides heavyweight, it's always been the top division. And we have so many talented fighters right now. Unbelievable. We have 10 plus fighters in the welterweight division that could be fighting each other, and they're not fighting each other. I think Porter coming to Top Rank card says a lot, and I think that's the beginning. I think this could start where we get all those big fights.
Do you think it will be a tight decision victory for Terence then? Listen, obviously going back to your prediction, or do you think he'll win more comfortably?
I think he wins, but I don't think it's going to be easy. I think Porter's going to give him a tough fight. I think there's going to be some rounds that are very close. I would probably say style, skills wise, the judges on a close round, they'll probably prefer giving it to Crawford. So I think Crawford wins, but it's going to be a tough fight. It's not going to be Munguia just won, but it was still a tough fight. He got hit a lot. So Munguia won unanimous, but it was still very tough. I think Crawford's going to be in a tough fight. I think he's going to be in a tough fight, especially the first 5-6 rounds. They're going to be tough, but but he's going to win. They're going to be tough rounds, but he's going to be winning them.
Robert, you mentioned Virgil Ortiz earlier on. Obviously, this news come out, you two are not working together anymore. Can you just enlighten me as to how you guys came to that split? And I know you're still on very good terms.
Look, Virgil, the kid, is a great fighter, very dedicated. He's the most dedicated kid in my gym. So you cannot love that kid. He's one of those kids that you wish him the best. And look, his decision, if he ends up with Eddie Reynoso, it's a smart thing to do. Right now, Eddie Reynoso is on top of the world. Canelo is the best fighter in the world. They got all the media, all the attention. The kid needs. He's from the United States, so he's very popular here in the United States. But he needs that Mexican followers behind him, and I think that's going to give it to him. I don't blame him. I wish him the best. I think the kid is the future. Him and Ennis are going to be the future in the welterweight division. I think both of them could already beat the Crawfords or the Errol Spences or the Ugas. I think both could beat Ugas right now, but I think they're the future. They're young, they're hungry. They're the future of the welterweight division. So, I can't blame him either. He wants to move to a better spot, and he found the right one. If he ends up with Eddie, I don't blame him, man. I honestly, I can't be mad at him for making that decision.
With Virgil, the WBC at the convention ordered a fight between him and David Avanesian. UK fans certainly know him because of his recent performances over on UK shores. What do you make of that as a final eliminator for the WBC title?
Well, look, I didn't know who this guy was, but I went through the record and I think Velasquez knocked him out. So that says it all, You know what I mean? I think it's just going to be another fight, where WBA. If you see a lot of PBC fights, a lot of the fights on their cards are WBA title eliminators.
He's WBC.
This is well, yeah, but I mean, no, I'm just saying the organizations, the way the organizations work. Virgil could be fighting this guy, and it doesn't have to be title eliminator, and still get the title fight. We've like I was telling you, with a lot of fights on PBC, a lot of them are WBA title eliminators. That doesn't mean they're going to go fight for the title right away. So even though the fight is a title eliminator with Virgil, and Virgil knocks this guy out, that doesn't mean the champion's going to fight him next. Because there's so much politics, so much involved in boxing. Sometimes they'll prefer to vacate the titles instead of fighting the champions. Sometimes like the promoters don't work with each other. Golden Boy and PBC might not really be able to make that fight, so it's difficult. So title eliminators, doesn't mean you're going to fight for the title your next fight. Yeah, you're in position, but it's just like being ranked number one also. Virgil already is ranked number one in a couple divisions, in a couple organizations. That doesn't mean the champions are going to fight him right away.
Robert, we haven't had a chance to catch up since Mikey's defeat to Sandor Martin, so I just want to go back to that note as well. A big upset defeat, certainly for the boxing world. What went wrong for Mikey on the night? Was it simply a matter of inactivity, just come back and cost him?
I don't think it was an activity. I don't think so, because, he had been in the gym for months and months. I think it was just not the night. It just wasn't right. Great win for Sandor Martin. Went back home to Spain, and he's a hero. He beat a 4th division champion, so great win for him. And we got to applaud him. Because he fought the way he had to win, to fight to win. But it was just the night wasn't the night. Mikey, previous to that, Mikey didn't even want to fight. Mikey was going to cancel the fight until we learned that Jesse Rodriguez was going to fight in that card, and Jesse was actually going to fight for the world title. So that was the main reason we kept with the card. We knew Mikey didn't want to fight, but it's also sounding like excuses. But Sandor fought a great fight and he won. There's nothing we could do. It also, even myself, I wasn't really into the fight. Walking into the ring and seeing ringside, we always used to see my mom ringside, and this is the first fight that I don't see my mother ringside with my sisters and Mikey's wife, everybody there, and my mom is not there. First time, and that we walk into, I'm sure that had to do it. If you go watch the fight and you see I was fucking crying, because this is the first time something like that happens. With not seeing my mom there, I know that affected me. I'm pretty sure it's also Mikey hasn't said anything, but I'm pretty sure it also affected him. Knowing that my mom wasn't there anymore. It's It's just so many little things and Mikey didn't perform either. He just wasn't motivated. It's just part of boxing. You got to learn from that. After the fight, we thought maybe that's it for Mikey. Maybe that's it. Maybe he doesn't want to fight anymore. But then the following week, me and my dad, we spent time with Mikey, and Mikey told us, look, I'm gonna come back stronger. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. It was embarrassing to come out like that. So he's in the gym now. He's training. He's actually going to start sparring tomorrow. He's going to spar tomorrow. He wants to start sparring. Yesterday we were in the gym and he brought his sparring gear. I never told him he's going to spar. I told Mikey, why'd you bring sparring? He says, in case somebody needs sparring, I want to spar. He didn't spar, but he was there. He was ready to spar. So I think I think he needed this to he was enjoying it too much. He was. He was enjoying it too much, all that success and all those big paydays that he was making. It just, he got too comfortable.
Could you see this performance coming then, listening to you talk there, Robert? Could you see that eventually Mikey was going to fall short against somebody like a Sandor Martin?
Look, we already knew since the beginning, Mikey never wanted to fight. Mikey never wanted to be a boxer. He became a boxer, he said it many times, because he's good at it. But not because he loves it, not because he enjoys it. Not he'd rather be in the track racing cars, or in his property shooting his guns. That's just the way Mikey is. He never really did boxing for the love of the sport. He did it because he's good at it. So after all that success, those huge paydays, he got too comfortable. But I think he needed something like this for him to come back strong again. He needs to come back like when he was fighting for his first world title against a world champion like Salido or Lipinets or you know what I mean. Those type of, he needs to have that mentality. I want to be champion. I want to fight. I want to beat the best. I think it actually helped because he's back in the gym training hard.
We spoke before the fight as to, if he was successful against Sandor Martin, the plan was to get back down to 140. I spoke to Bob early, he said once Josh fights Jack Catterall, provided he's successful, he's going to move up to 147, so all of those titles become vacant. Even though a defeat can be damaging, if those titles are vacant, is the plan going to be for Mikey to move back down to 140 and to try and capitalise on that, get a vacant title fight?
Look, we already... Finally, we're able to convince him that 140 is where he belongs, and that's what we're going to do. We're not looking at the vacant titles and all that. We're that's not something that Mikey has always said it also, that winning a world title doesn't, there's so many politics. Sometimes they give it to somebody that doesn't even deserve it, and it's just the way boxing is. So for him, I think he just wants to come back, get a couple good wins, and get big fights and big wins, but at 140, which is where he belongs. He doesn't belong at 147, and he finally understands that 140 is where he should be fighting.
Robert, I've got to touch on Bam Bam Rodriguez as well. Terrific performance from him, a very exciting fighter who's got a lot of accolades over social media from what I saw. A lot of people praising him for that win. Just how special a talent do you have on your hands?
Look, that kid is probably the most talented kid in my gym. I'm telling you guys, man. He's a small weight division, so maybe he'll never be in the huge fights. Maybe he'll never be on the pound for pound list because of his weight division. But that kid could fight. And we just need that opportunity. There's no champion that wants to fight him, and he already is ranked number 1 in the world. But man, we're having a hard time getting him that title fight. He will beat any of the champions right now. We just want that title opportunity. I think eventually the kid's going to be a 4, 5, maybe even a 6 division champion because he's that talented. I just want that opportunity, and those are the. That's what excites us more, I know, there's those big pay-per-view fights like we're having this Saturday. I'm glad to be part of it, But the fighters that I brought in since the amateurs to develop him into his pro debut into a world champion, like his brother Joshua Franco, who came from the amateurs. We turned him pro. Small divisions. There's never a lot of money with those divisions, but my heart, does want them to become champions. They want to become champions. So that excites us more than maybe being in a big fight. But it's somebody that maybe I didn't develop. You know what I mean? I think when it comes to the feeling, it's better to know that you brought somebody from the amateurs to turning pro and to becoming world champion. That's the best feeling ever.
Rob, I've got to ask you as well. We saw at the WBC convention, Canelo-Makabu, that's been approved. I just want to get your take on seeing Canelo jump up from super middleweight to cruiserweight to face Ilunga Makabu next year if that one does go ahead.
Look, that's making history. You know, that's telling the whole boxing world, and those that don't accept Canelo as the best ever, you know, at this moment, you know, it's probably maybe just jealousy.
If Canelo was to be successful at cruiserweight, does his CV become better than what Floyd's was, or do you still rank Floyd above?
Look, Canelo, you know, has already accomplished a lot, and going up to cruiserweight is going to be the best Mexican of all time, but not better than Floyd. I think Floyd was just special. Floyd beat Canelo and beat him pretty easy. Maybe he was in his prime, whatever you want to say. He beat him already. And to say he's better than Floyd, I can't say that. There's, you know, very few, you know, there's very few that I could probably say, like Sugar Ray Leonard, who was my favorite fighter, Muhammad Ali, who is the greatest, you know, because, you know, even though they lost a few fights, they're still legends. But Canelo, I don't think he's ever going to be better than Floyd. I think Floyd is always going to be better than Canelo.
A final topic, Robert. Now, I remember speaking to you about this at the Michael Garcia Sandor Martin Hotel, Anthony Joshua talking to trainers and that, and this was obviously completely innocent, just getting your thoughts on to, you know, if he was to reach out to you and potentially come and speak to you, and then a couple of days later you ended up having a meeting with him, it came out. I just wanted you to get the details of that meeting and how it went between yourself and Anthony Joshua.
You know what, Anthony Joshua's I had met him, but just like a hi and bye, that's it. But talking to him, he's a very smart man. He's dedicated, and there was a few things that I mentioned to him, and he actually corrected me. No, that's not my problem. You know what I mean. I thought maybe, you know, there was a few things where I said, look, I think your mind is maybe too comfortable or maybe not focused. And that, you know, no, that's not the problem. I'm focused. I train hard. I'm dedicated. I'm not, you know. So there are little things. So I think it was a great conversation. I would love to help him. I think especially if he's going to do the rematch with Usyk, you know, I explained to him little things that I think he did wrong and that he could change would make a big difference, because Usyk and Lomachenko are very similar. Very similar. They're from, you know, same school. Very similar. And if you see Lomachenko's losses, that could kind of explain to you a little bit of how they could get beat. So I explained to him little things in the ring, stuff like that I could probably say that would make a big difference from his first fight to a rematch. His first fight, there was no game plan, no instructions, no changing, and sometimes you have to change a game plan from one round to the other, and there was nothing happened. I think that's very important, and you know, I don't know, I don't know where that, you know, we never trained together or anything. We just talked. We talked, and like I said, he's a great person, great athlete. You know, learning from him, you know, he's always, you know, staying in shape, always healthy, always eating healthy. You know, he loves to stay in shape. He loves to work out. So that's a big plus. I just think it was more of the friendship maybe with his former trainer that made a big change, big difference. Maybe the trainer was too comfortable also. I don't know. You know, those are the little things that sometimes you have to change.
What did AJ say to you was the biggest problem for him in that fight with Alexander Usyk that he wants to correct?
Well, you know, I think it's not only what he could say, what everybody's seen. There was just no game plan. There was no instructions. No. You know, what the fuck are you doing? Let's do. You know, we trained to do this, and you're not. You know what I mean? Something like that. A voice that wasn't there.
When he came back, he did an interview with another outlet, and he said, forget all this boxing, this sweet science. I want to go in, I want to be aggressive, I want to get back to that dog mode, I want to knock people out, back to what we were used to seeing AJ coming through. When you were speaking to him, did he give you that impression? Did he make you think not only is he motivated, but he means business? He wants to become a killer effectively in the ring.
And that's what we talked about, and I think that's what I could bring out of him, because I have fighters that don't need that, like a Jesse Rodriguez, but I've had fighters like a Maidana, a Brandon Rios, those type of guys that we need to bring that out of them. I know how to do it. I would love to be part of it.
Have you had any further conversations since that one? What was it, about a month ago now? Was it even longer than a month ago?
Can't say anything about it.
Can't say anything.
I hope so, man. I hope they reach out to me. I haven't heard anything yet.
Nothing yet. But Robert, we will leave that there now. Hopefully we do hear news of that soon. It's a pleasure to catch up with you. I appreciate your time. I mean, good luck on Saturday as well, and thank you for speaking to me.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.